Hector Bravo, unhinged. Chaos is now in session.
Welcome back to our channel's Warriors. Another special guest today. Believe it or not, man, this guy is a former Florida Department of Corrections correctional officer. Javier, what's up, dude?
How are you, LT? Good afternoon.
All right. You don't have to call me LT, bro. Hector's cool, man.
Yeah, Hector.
Very informal. And you're probably thinking, how the hell is this guy a former when he looks 12 years old, right? No disrespect. Sure. But to be honest, you only have to be 18 years old to apply, dude. Is that correct?
To the Florida Department of Corrections, minimum age is 18 years old.
Holy shit, bro. So is that where you're from, Florida?
Orlando, Florida, born and raised. Whole life in Central Florida. Never got out much out of the state until now. So.
Did you go to Disney World a bunch, or did you been there? Never been there?
I mean, yeah, like when you little. I mean, when you're raised there, Disney World, all those parks, they become like our little hangout spots, not vacation spots, if that makes sense.
Makes sense, dude. Yeah. And at what point in your young life did you decide you wanted to work in a correctional setting?
Not necessarily specifically a correctional setting, just law enforcement in general, due to my family background. Former law enforcement officers in Puerto Rico, all military, war vets, grandfather, great-grandfather, uncle. I have a cousin who's a sheriff in Florida, so.
Did your parents come from Puerto Rico, or were they already in the States?
No, my mother, she came to the States. She was about 18, so right before she had me. So she spent a good part of her life in the States too, so.
And anybody in your family from the Florida Department of Corrections that had served?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Everyone in my family was just a regular state police officer in Puerto Rico or a sheriff in Florida.
Did you think about going to college at all, or you didn't want to do that?
No.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
Not for me.
Did you look at other agencies, such as police agencies, maybe the state troopers, and what happened, the age group or something?
Yeah, I mean, in Florida, at that time, right now, they've raised up the age for pretty much everything. But at that time, you could be 19 years old and apply to certain police departments and sheriff departments and the FHP. But, I was 18, out of high school. I didn't want to keep working at Home Depot. And I come across an ad that says that corrections is hiring at 18. And I was like, it's a law enforcement job, I guess. So why not try? Was not expecting anything because, who's going to hire someone at 18 out of high school for that job?
But it says it. It says it in the ad.
It
18.
says it, yeah, but I was so unexpected. So I just applied without even thinking much of it. And in a short amount of time, like a week or two later, I get a phone call to start submitting paperwork for the hiring process. And I'm like, no way that this is actually happening. Keep going with the process, and I wait about a month. The hiring process is pretty short. It's pretty short. For corrections, it's about a month or two until you can get hired.
Is there a written examination?
Yes, we have the CJBAT. So Criminal Justice Basic Abilities Test. You take that before you apply to any law enforcement job in the state. You cannot apply without having CJBAT results. It's just basic, memorization, reading comprehension. One of the easiest tests you'll take. You take that, you submit it along with your other paperwork, and you're good to go from there.
Is there a background investigation?
Yeah, but there's not much background to do on me, I guess.
But for another candidate, or will they look at previous employment, criminal record, drug usage, stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. But it's even with someone who might have so much experience, a lot of jobs, or up in age, the hiring process is still pretty short. I know in some states it takes like 6 months to a year to get hired anywhere. And it sounds weird for me because even for police departments and sheriff departments, process 3 to 6 months to get hired. Depends on you, of course, if you submit everything correctly. And,
How many academies are there in Florida for the Department of Corrections?
I'm not entirely sure. I believe every region has their own academy. So in Central Florida, we are Region 3. So everyone goes to the Florida Corrections Academy for Region 3, which is in the city of Orlando. And I know there's other academies because in South Florida, I think North Florida, Central Florida, and South Florida have their own academy, so I assume it's probably 3. I could be wrong. I didn't even know there was a academy for the department, because in Florida, there's not really much police academies. It's just colleges.
Right.
So if you want to be an Orlando police officer, there's no such thing as an Orlando Police Academy. You go
Right.
to the Valencia Criminal Justice Academy, and it's for all departments. You know, there's only about I think Miami and like 2 or 3 more counties in the state have their own department-ran academies.
So once you become a correctional officer for the state of Florida, can you then transfer to any state penitentiary?
Yeah, you can
could?
transfer easily. Some people were transferring in the academy. You know, like they applied
Oh, yeah.
for this prison, but they want to be in a different prison.
Right.
You just have to submit the proper paperwork, and it's not a problem at all to transfer.
Now, I know you told me earlier that sometimes they'll hire you and then they'll send you to the academy after. Would that happen in your case?
Yes, so I was working in the prison for a month and a half before I went to the academy.
And during this time, were you working at the prison that you would eventually work your career in?
Yes.
Were you wearing a uniform?
First day was Class A uniform.
Yeah.
You know, like the fancy proper uniform.
Did you have to go and buy that out everything yourself?
Nah, it was provided to us. It's all hand-me-down stuff, to be honest.
What about duty equipment or the belt at least?
Yeah, you got to buy that yourself. I mean, some people, they just wore a regular belt and just
Yeah.
had their chemical agents in handcuffs. Some people have their duty belt, so they could have other stuff on it. That was pretty simple. I didn't really carry much of my duty belt. All I carried was my set of handcuffs, chemical agents, and a flashlight. And gloves. Always have gloves. That's pretty much all I carried on my duty belt.
Did you see that video recently of the New York prison guards that beat the shit out of that guy and killed him?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes,
That-
I did.
Pretty crazy, huh? You guys get down like that in Florida too, or
Well,
just fucking around, dude? Just putting you on the spot, bro.
well,
You
even
gotta
if we
answer
do, there wouldn't be any evidence. We don't have body cameras
That's
like
enough,
they
bro.
do. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty wild for doing something like that, knowing that they have cameras on them. I mean, you shouldn't be doing that either way.
correct.
But I mean,
That's
he was
what I keep-
handcuffed, so it's like,
Exactly. I keep trying to say that.
you know, it's a big thing. I would never put my hands on someone that's handcuffed. That's not.
It's not manly.
No, there's no point in that.
Not
Really,
ethical.
no, it's not. I mean, he's in handcuffs. Like,
It's like, yeah, shooting fish in a barrel is not
Yeah.
fucking fair.
I mean, if you want to do something that bad, if you really have to, I mean, you can just take the handcuffs off.
Right.
But having them on, that was pretty crazy.
So I know I kind of just threw you a curveball, bro,
Yeah.
just testing you out, man, for getting a feel for you. And what type of job duties were you doing at the prison prior to you going to the academy? Did they have you work in the line?
Everything,
Everything.
everything. Not supposed to.
Correct.
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be in the bubble, observing.
What's the bubble, like a central control?
So what we have is, every prison in Florida has 2 different types of layouts. You have the butterfly dorms. So you have like a bubble right here, like this table would be. And this chair is 1 bay. This chair is 1 bay. That's 1 bay. That's 1 bay, like a butterfly dorm. So
Like
you have
pods.
bays. Yeah,
and there's
pods.
cells in there?
Yes.
Do they ever riot in those fucking...
Not that I've seen. A lot of that stuff hasn't happened in recent times. Because in Florida, something I like, that we pride ourselves on is we have a good amount of control on the inmates. So riots are not that common. Because like every officer, if you have email access, which I did, you would always get a text or an email if anything happened around the state in any prison, whether it was an assault.
Damn, dude,
On
that's
staff.
That's very good, bro.
Yes.
That's good communication.
Yeah,
lines
so
of
we would know if someone, like if a staff got assaulted in North Florida 6 hours away, we would know about it.
And
If a
how
riot
often were you
happened.
getting those?
Not that often.
Not that often,
Not that
man?
often. Not that often.
It's interesting to know, dude, because I don't have any knowledge of the Department of Corrections for Florida.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are staff assaults that are probably isolated and they wasn't too serious, so it doesn't get sent out there. I don't want to sit here and say assaults don't happen like that.
Right.
But for the serious assaults where someone got killed or seriously injured,
Yeah.
in my experience, was not common at all.
That's a good thing, dude.
Yes, it's I give it credit to something that I heard on a podcast from a New York City correction officer a few years ago. Something called the fear of unknown. what would happen, you know, me as an inmate, what's gonna happen if I assault that officer? You know, are they just gonna like how I've heard you say sometimes where a cop can get assaulted and they get a tablet the same
They
day?
get a tablet within an
Or
hour, bro.
I don't even know how that's okay. And like the prison just keeps running like
You get
normal after an
rewarded.
assault.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, that would never happen. If we have an officer assaulted, even just the use of force in general, that prison's going on lockdown. He's getting sent to the box to confinement. And most of the time when an officer gets assaulted, they get transferred off the prison the same day because they don't want other officers, you know.
So it's kind of what I'm gathering from, man. It's like the prison runs smooth, and also, kind of like the street cops that I see, or the troopers that I see in Florida. They're wild, bro.
Yeah.
Pit maneuvers, jumping on hoods,
Yeah.
just crazy shit, dude.
You know, we have a good support system from
Yeah.
the governor.
That makes a difference,
And,
dude.
Yeah, and our secretary, I mean, there's some negatives about him too. You know, there's some things that could be better.
Right.
But our secretary, he you know, he was there. You know, he visited the academy one time. He likes to visit academies. He likes to, you know, every other week we would have like a TV, and like he would have like a message out to the staff. of,
Every
like,
other
any-
week at the academy, you would have a TV.
not in the academy, but just in the prison itself. If there is some time, some idle time, you know, usually at night, the
Where did
TV
it-
was there.
Where did the TV come from? Like a spare office or something?
Yeah, and then we would see like, you know, the secretary giving out a message or something. So he cares about his staff, and he was a CO for around what 25 years. Pretty sure his name was Ricky Dixon, Secretary Ricky Dixon. He was a CO for around 25 years, so he knows 100%.
Can you guys watch movies on those TVs?
No, we have computers.
Oh,
I mean,
computers?
we're pretty old school. Like, due to funding, we don't get a lot of funding. You know, like, we don't get equipment issued to us. All we get is the handcuffs and the chemical agents. You know, if you want all that extra stuff, you're gonna have to buy it yourself. If you want duty belts, you gotta buy it yourself. You know, like, lack of funding is definitely something that has affected the department.
You mentioned how much were you getting paid?
Starting out was 39,000.
39,000. Now you said you worked at Home Depot before. Were you making more when you became a CO?
Yeah, I was making more, of course, because of the overtime.
So 39,000, bro. 18 years old, youngster. I mean, you're still young.
Yes.
The academy. How long was that academy?
Around 3 months, maybe a couple weeks shorter.
Was it a live-in academy?
No, you would go home after.
And it was in Orlando.
City
And you
of
lived in Orlando. So how
Yes.
far was your drive to the academy?
20 minutes,
Oh,
25
that's not
minutes.
bad, bro.
Yeah, so it was easy. You just go to school, you know. It was the academy was pretty cool. I mean, my academy class had a lot of former law enforcement from New York and other states. So it wasn't necessarily a class of
Probably because everybody retires in Florida. Florida seems to be a retirement
yeah,
state.
and they just leave. They don't like where they're at. You know,
Yeah.
they don't like how the department's treating them. They come here or over there.
Right.
And yeah, you know, it was cool to have their experiences there. Made the academy run smooth too, because I mean, everyone knew more or less what they were doing. Of course, I had to play catch up a little bit with
Why?
everyone
Because
else.
of your age difference?
The age difference, and like I didn't know anything about handcuffing or. I mean, I learned how to handcuff before the academy because when I was working in the prison before the academy, I've had to apply cuffs numerous times, which you're not supposed to.
During that
Right.
time frame, when you're working in the prison, when you're not supposed to be working in the prison,
Yeah.
are the inmates treating you a certain way because they know you're not even supposed to be there? They calling you rookie, or they calling you fish, or any names like that?
I never got called any of that actually. No, never. If they did, I didn't hear it. But I mean, they know you're not supposed to be there, but they know how it works. You know, on
Yeah.
paper, yeah, you're not supposed to be there, but they know damn well they be
Now-
doing that because you don't got chemical agents on you, so it's like
Now, do you think that the inmates mess with the COs, or they try to leave the COs alone so they can do whatever dirt they want to do?
yeah. I mean, for the most part, we got left alone. Like I said, things ran pretty smooth. I mean, you would have your couple guys that like were the problem childs or whatever, the problem children. But for the most part, I mean, if you want to do dirt, that's your thing. You know what I mean? Like, just don't do it in front of me
Yeah.
or like while I'm there, because I mean, it depends on what it is and how far I'll go with it. I mean, if it's like tattooing or something, I mean, what do you want me to do about that? You know, like I'm not putting you in the box for that.
Is tattooing against the rules in Florida?
Yeah, you go to the box for that. You could put someone in the box for anything in confinement. I mean, if you feel disrespected, you can lock them up for disrespect on an officer and put him in the box.
Did you ever see that happen?
Yes, that wasn't my style.
Right.
I wasn't going to do paperwork or put someone in the box or give the LT paperwork or the captain paperwork because I felt disrespected. I can handle that myself in-house. We can handle it ourselves. There's no reason for that.
You get to go home for the academy every day. Are you eating at the academy? Do they have a cafeteria or they break you guys for lunch?
We get breaked for lunch.
So it's basically like going to college, going to school, and learning how to apply handcuffs, work in the prison, getting trained by the OGs.
Yes, real OGs. I had a lot of respect for my instructors. They put a lot of years into the department. They were all Marine Corps and Army veterans. They would always walk around with their Marine hat, Army hat, 25 years in the department.
I know that before we started recording, you said you didn't understand how here in California you can only have 2 years in and be an academy instructor.
No, like you can't. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Correct. Did you know that they actively do not want people with experience and a lot of times in because they want somebody new that's going to push whatever agenda they want to push out? That's the reason for the madness.
I don't get it, honestly. And the agenda is not doing any, I mean, I don't know. The agenda, it's hard for me to believe it. Half the stuff you post, all that California model stuff, I don't get it. I don't get it.
You don't get it or you don't believe it?
Both. I'd say both. I don't, because I was trained and I was in an environment where, you know, you, the inmate, do your thing, I do my thing, and I go home and you just keep going on your routine and whatever you do during the day.
But wouldn't that just be common sense in general?
Of course it's common sense. I mean, I don't know where the whole pickleball thing or the playing basketball with the inmate, I don't know. I mean,
I know you commented on that young CO getting his neck cracked, man.
Probably the worst thing I've seen in my life so far. Yeah, I don't.
Probably the worst thing you've seen.
Probably the worst thing a lot of people. I don't know.
Probably the worst thing a lot of people have seen, bro. It's fucking far out there, dude. It is. That's not. I'll tell you right now. That's not normal, right? But I'm not surprised in the sense of, yeah, why wouldn't that happen? I mean, if that's what's being pushed from the top down, ridiculousness, why wouldn't that happen?
I just have a different mindset then, because I know 100% I'm younger than that CO.
Correct. And he was a young CO.
Yeah, like I'm younger than him. They could have pushed whatever agenda they wanted to on me over there. I was not going to let an inmate grab my head and crack it like that.
Put his dick beaters all over your face, bro. I mean, damn.
I don't know.
So you have been observing what's going on in California. You got your experience in Florida. So you can definitely tell that there's differences between the two states.
Too much differences.
You know, I find that to be disheartening, bro, and damn near disrespectful. Only because, not against you, because we actually used to be a legit, or CDCR used to be a legit fucking law enforcement agency.
Oh, I'm sure.
Correctional agency, bro. It was fucking legit.
Yeah, I've seen some documentaries. Yeah. I've seen your stories about the past, and the way y'all used to do things is how we do things now. In other words, so you can only imagine how Florida was rolling 20. Bro. So like when you were coming up in 2006,
yeah,
I can't even imagine how Florida was running.
Yeah, bro, like New York.
Yeah, I mean we're
New York is barely catching up now.
Yeah, I mean slowly, I think the same thing is gonna happen though because we're getting more of those, you know, officers that are more, I don't want to say timid, but
it's a generational thing, I think.
It pretty much is, yeah. I was raised by my grandparents most of the time, so...
Did you have an iPad growing up?
No, I didn't even have a phone.
Did your friends have iPads?
I was the only one without it.
Oh, that's probably why you're fucking normal, dude. That's why.
Yeah, I hated it because it's like, damn, like he got a phone and they got a tablet. Why can't I have a phone or tablet? I didn't get a phone.
Dude. Trust me, you're better off.
Yeah, I didn't have that till I was 14.
Oh, you're better off, bro.
14, 15 is when I got my first phone.
Yeah, because you don't strike me as an average young dude, bro. If you know what I mean, there's a difference, and you strike me more as an old soul. That's probably what you are, old soul type of dude.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. Definitely.
You have?
Yeah, because I mean, I like the way things ran. I like the old way of running things. I'm not gonna lie, because it makes
made
sense. It makes sense. You know, like this new way is not doing anything. I mean,
It's creating havoc.
yeah, exactly.
Chaos.
And like people don't know what's going. I don't know. That young officer that got his neck cracked, I don't think he knew what he was doing.
Well, they said he quit and then sued the department because apparently the video got out there in the public and he won $2 million. That's what the rumor is. So,
Hey, good for him. $2 million. I mean, shit.
yeah. But
That's. I don't know. I mean,
so when you were working, you go to the academy, you graduate. Where did they have you first? In a housing unit?
my first post was Alpha Dormitory. So Alpha Dormitory was the only one. You know how I said earlier how we have these butterfly dorms? That was the only dorm in the prison that was open bay.
So you said there was two kinds.
Two kinds, the open bays
butterfly?
and the butterfly.
What do the open bays look like?
It's open bay. It's like this. Like just imagine bunk beds all around in a circle,
Like the Marine Corps
like a squad bay,
squad bay.
just like that. It kind of shocked me when I arrived at boot camp actually, because it looked just like an open bay, and like the red light and everything at night. When I would see the red light, I'll be like, I feel like I'm an inmate right now, because it's the exact same thing. It's like a squad bay, you know. More dangerous because when you're doing your counts, no one is secured. You know, they're just on their bunk, sitting up.
Are those lower levels? On the bunks, on the open.
To be honest,
How many
It
levels are there in fucking Florida?
I don't want to give a wrong answer, but I believe there's 4.
So level 1 through 4?
Yeah, I believe it's 4. But that dorm had a reputation.
4?
It was known as the Chomo dorm. So we call Chomos like pedophiles, child molesters.
Right.
That was probably back in the day, but the stigma carried on because there is a good amount of guys in there that were not Chomos. But with that stigma, the dorm was not treated the best. And a lot
By
of
who?
the officers and other inmates too. I mean, I don't really call it the Chomo dorm. I've met a lot of inmates that weren't Chomos in there. But there was a good amount because the whole reason for them having an open bay like that is for the older inmates, the old inmates that can barely walk. They have that little pee thing, little bag of pee or whatever.
Yeah, these dirty fucking old
Yeah,
men.
and those are, I mean, I can't put a generalization that they're pedophiles, but I mean, the most of them were, so.
Right. Damn, dude. So when you would get the call, say, hey, you're working Alpha Dorm, your friends would be like, oh, you're working the Chomo Dorm.
Well, no, because we didn't really understand it like that at the time.
What do you mean?
You know, no one knew it was the Chomo dorm until I got in the dorm, and the inmates would tell me stories, and then I would talk to my sergeant about it and be like, yeah, this was considered the Chomo dorm back in my day. I'm like, damn, okay. Whatever. But it was a pretty chill post because it's mostly old guys, so it's like there's not much going on. You know, most of my really doing stuff was during chow time. You know, you release them for chow, the inmates, and then you would go to your post.
What was the worst part of the prison? I mean, where the rowdy inmates were at.
Like, what was that? The rowdy inmates?
Rowdy inmates. Like, where were there going to be some type of incident or some a fight, a stabbing?
I'd say Charlie dorm. Charlie dorm were fucking horrible.
Damn, bro, it almost seems like every Charlie yard is a horrible freaking nightmare, dude.
Charlie dorm was a nightmare. And I did work. That was my second assignment was Charlie dorm because I had a sergeant that she was a very tough sergeant. Like, she was a tough one. You know, you can never... You know, she would get complaints from inmates and officers alike. You know, she was tough. But I did want to learn from her.
Yeah.
And of course, I think she didn't like me in the beginning because of my age. All she saw was a young, you know, kid.
Yeah.
So she didn't like that. She made it known too.
She did?
Yeah, like she, you know, she was tough. But after a couple days of working together, you know, she ended up like working with me. You know, it was a good partnership, a good relationship, you know. You know, she was tough, yes, but definitely someone you would want with you.
Experience.
You know, experience-wise, and if something were to go down, you would want her there, definitely.
I know you mentioned that there was a lot of overtime. Were you guys understaffed the whole time you were working?
Very
there?
understaffed.
Like how
Very.
much understaffed? Hey guys, consider becoming a patron where you will get first exclusive dibs on the video before it airs to the public, and you'll get to ask the guests special questions that you have in mind. So that's also another way to support the channel. Thank you guys. Appreciate all of you. Keep pushing forward. Make sure you hit that link in the description below. Like
Understaffed to the point where they would call 8 names for overtime every shift.
oh, that's normal. That's normal over here, bro.
Yeah, but with already little, we already have not that many officers.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it has to do with the pay. It's all about dollars. You know,
Right.
because the environment was, it's prison. It's a bad environment no matter what. But we didn't have to deal with too much. Most of that crisis was really due to dollars. Hence the overtime. And with all that overtime, drives people to quit, which keeps the staffing low. Everyone I know quit because of overtime. No one quit because they hated the job. They quit because of the forced overtime, 16-hour shifts.
They quit because of the forced overtime.
The majority of the department, yes, quit because of forced overtime.
Well, that's something that doesn't happen in California. It didn't used to happen. People didn't quit the department, right? It seems like people now are quitting the department, which is rare. But you're telling me that it's a normal occurrence for people to quit the Department of Corrections in Florida?
It's so normal to the point where me, as a new officer, with, I'd say 6 months into the job, I was already being considered a senior officer.
No way.
And being told to teach other people stuff. That's how understaffed we were, is that we didn't have a choice. Hey, you've been here for 6 months, a little bit here and there, teach these young kids at least something, because, there's nobody. And all the OGs that work in the prison, that work there, they either are working in the academy, they're white shirts, which is a captain, lieutenant, or a major, or they're working in TNR, which is transfer and receiving, when we receive inmates from the county jail.
What do the white shirts do for a living? Hang out, drink coffee, and bullshit? Or do they actually work?
In my experience, they worked.
Really?
It was great. One of the most amazing captains I met, he was a great captain. That captain would be running a chow hall. He'd be patting down inmates in the yard. He was out there working. And, it was to the point where we're like, nah, Cap, take it easy. We got this. Because he was a worker, we had some lieutenants that were, you would have the ones that were admin and they would just be in the office all day, just smoking coffee, doing all that. But I'd say a good amount of the white shirts, they were there on the line with us. And it was great to see it. And they would back us up too, especially this captain I just mentioned. I probably hope I meet someone else like him, but I probably won't. He would have your back 100% no matter what. He was a great captain, really good captain. A lot of my experience of anything I learned, I credit it to him, definitely.
Bro, I had no idea how great fucking Florida Department of Corrections is, man.
Yeah, really, people only hated the job because of
forced overtime.
And I'm not gonna lie, there is some favoritism. There's a lot of favoritism, which drives people to quit too and not want to be there and hate it. A lot of people. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I probably was favorited a lot because of the overtime I chose to do. I would always put my hand up like, hey, I'll take this shift. I would always call and be like, hey, I'm coming in the morning. You guys need help. I was that type of officer. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that probably didn't make me get favorited, because anytime I wanted something, I did get it. So
fuck it, dude.
But it was just my personality. It wasn't even trying to prove anything. I wanted to work and be there. I wanted to do law enforcement. I wanted to be like my grandfather, great-grandfather, who were, working as law enforcement in the street and always putting in work. That's what they taught me, So
talk to me about that team, the specialized units that are in.
We have 3. We have the CERT team, Rapid Response Team, which is what I was a part of, the Riot Squad, another name for it. We have the Crisis Negotiations. And the CERT team is amazing. It's an amazing team. Something that I would have done if I stayed in, definitely. And RRT was great too. I saw they put a poster up for tryouts. I wasn't qualified to attend the tryouts. But
why?
You had to have at least, I believe, 2 years in before you could. And obviously I didn't have 2 years in, but a captain encouraged me to go. He's like, just go, man, just go. You're a worker, you're good, just go get it. I went to the tryouts. I did.
What did the tryouts consist of? Walk me through the day of the tryouts.
So the tryouts, push-ups, sit-ups, a 1.5 mile run, and I believe it was 25 push-ups, around 30-something sit-ups. I did around 50-something push-ups.
How many other guys were there?
It was a good amount. Probably like 10, 11.
10?
Yeah, and I definitely did better physically than most of them. There was only 1 or 2 other guys that were kind of...
Was this an all-day event?
No, it lasted pretty short.
It was short?
Yeah, just a couple hours.
So aside from physical training, did they have any other type of examinations?
No.
No. They want to make sure you could do some fucking push-ups, sit-ups, and run? That's it.
That's it. Something else that people say about the department is that we lack a lot of training. I'm not going to lie, we do.
Yeah.
We lack a lot of training. The academy, all we do is have the book and get told how it really is.
So with that riot team, what are the job duties? When are they called in? What are they equipped with?
So we get called in whenever there's a major disturbance, such as a riot. If there's let's say there's a strike with inmates that don't want to work and the whole dorm won't come out or they won't lock it up, they won't go in their cells, we'll get called in. More of the little stuff.
Called in from home or called in from on the job?
Both. Can be both. Always on call. We were given state-issued cell phones, little flip phones. And, you get that call, it's time to go. We were equipped with, we don't carry batons in the Department of Corrections in Florida. Only ones that carry batons are the specialized units. So...
Can you buy your own baton and carry your own baton, or is that discouraged?
You can't do that either. You can't buy anything from, you can't, unless it's gloves or something like that, you can't bring anything personal in the prison.
Like a weapon.
Personal equipment, like weapon, anything. You have your chemical agents, your cuffs, and that's it.
How big is a chemical agent?
MK4.
So it's MK4.
This big. If you work on the yard, if you're yard staff, you would carry the MK9.
Right.
If you're on the specialized units, MK9. We didn't have it issued to us, but if we got called in, we would make a pit stop at the control center and pick up our MK9s.
So aside from OC spray, what other tools did you have?
We just
defend yourself.
We just started. It was a couple months before I left, carrying tasers.
Did you get tased?
Yes, I got tased.
How was that, dude?
It hurt. Not that bad. I prefer it than the OC spray.
Did you guys have grenades?
Yes. We have all that,
OC grenades? OC grenades or the stinger ball grenades?
OC grenades. And it was pretty cool. All that equipment. We would have our own, little locker room with all that stuff, all our gear packed. It was really nice. We had our vest, riot helmet, all the essentials that you would see any law enforcement officer wear in a riot.
Did you guys do cell extractions, or were cell extractions a thing?
Yes.
Who does those? The rapid team or a regular cop?
No, so you get certified in that. So, everything in Florida is certified. You can't do anything unless you're certified. So we have the DART team, which responds to, it's kind of like a team where it's just a bunch of COs that kind of sit there and they wait for that 911 call for help.
That's kind of what every CO in California does, is sit there all day long.
Yeah. And then we have the cell extraction team. You get certified in that. You go to a class, a couple-hour class, like a day class. You just tell your LT, hey, I want to be certified in cell extraction. All right, I'll sign you up for the next class. You go to the class. We have our little ID cards that have whatever we're certified in, and it says you're cell extraction certified. Whenever there has to be a cell extraction, you get called in.
What are some other certifications you can get?
There's a lot of stuff. Anything like the taser, you don't just get issued a taser. You have to go to a certification class because with the taser comes a body camera.
Holy shit, bro. Fuck.
Yeah.
So you probably opt not to get that taser, huh?
It doesn't matter really because with the body camera, you don't use it.
You mean you don't use it?
If you're in a use of force using OC spray or hands-on, escorting, just walking around a housing unit, you don't turn on the body camera.
So here in California, that bitch stays on 24/7, 365.
Yeah, nah, not over there. Over there, the body camera, you don't even turn it on. If you decide to use your taser, the body camera turns on as soon as you pull it out.
Pull it from the...
Yeah,
Holster?
from the holster, the body camera turns on automatically.
That's cool, man.
That's
a
the
good
only
feature.
time that body cameras were ever used, but you did have the option to turn it on if you wanted to for any reason. With that came some officers that, you know, they were dickheads and they wanted to turn on their body cameras in the middle of a use of force when they don't have to, but they want to. So,
Yeah.
you know, we just tell, you know, if we hear that beep, we just all yell, hey, we live. And then we know, we're on camera.
Is every use of force incident a reportable incident? You guys got to write a report over there? Or
Yes.
No? Yeah?
You write an incident report, use of force report. I ain't gonna lie to you, if the captain is cool with you, so that the OIC, officer in charge, it could be a lieutenant or captain, if they're cool with you, they they'll help you out, like, to write it out and stuff, like,
Fuck.
yeah,
dude.
they'll help you write it out. And it's not even that, you just,
Here they make the officers now go into separate rooms, don't fucking look at each other, don't talk to each other. You're
Really?
collaborating. Yeah, bro, you get fucking fired for that shit.
nah, in the use of force, captain just comes up to us and say, hey, what happened? Hey, this and this happened. All right, you two, just go put your IDs in the
Dude.
printer, print out a copy, and then just start writing.
It's like a blast from the past, bro. Do they scrutinize your guys' use of force?
A lot.
They do?
Well, you talking about the public or the...
Boy, who's scrutinizing you guys?
A lot, the public and the...
How would they know?
You have the little articles coming here and there. Inmate beaten to death in Florida prison.
Oh, I think I
Inmate
did see
beaten in Florida prison. We
Yeah.
had two officers in a different institution were caught on camera because of an inmate having an illegal cell phone, and it showed two officers slapping an inmate.
Did it kill him?
And he could just slap them,
Oh.
and they got fired. And I'd say that scrutinization is what's going to start pushing the actual body cameras. I can see it happening soon.
Yeah, that'll come from a federal court order.
It will. Because, I'm still in touch with some guys in the prison,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, we ain't got body cameras yet, but it's going to come eventually because too much happens too much happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on, accusations, the department is known for being really aggressive and brutal.
The body-worn cameras are really not that bad. I think they're a great idea, bro. As far as evidence preservation and great training tools, dude.
They're amazing training tools because you can literally show, hey,
Yeah.
look at this.
Instantly.
Don't do that, or
Exactly.
do it this way. Or like, it's nice to see it on camera. I just don't like when it's always being used against you.
Oh, and it will be.
Like, okay, we have the body camera. That's cool. Like, if I fucked up, just tell me, hey, here it is on camera, this and this.
So, as a CO in Florida, man, if you fuck up, are you getting a slap on the hand, on the wrist, or are you getting fucking the book thrown at you?
I'm just gonna slap on the wrist.
Real? Ah, that's beautiful, bro. That's music to my ears.
But again, this is where favoritism might play.
Right.
I was not gonna, they weren't really gonna get me in trouble for anything like that.
Damn,
but
bro,
other
you were the golden
officers-
boy, man.
It felt like that, yeah. All I was trying to do was the best I could to,
I know the feeling, bro.
I just wanted to do the job and learn because,
Yeah.
I believe no matter how many years you have in the department, you're always learning.
Facts.
Everyone's always learning. I made sure to have a paper copy, a little packet of all the policy and procedure of everything, of the whole Chapter 33, which is every regulation in the prison. I would always read it in my spare time to see, hey, what can I do, not do? What can I
Did
get
you
someone in
ever
trouble
see
for?
any laws or rules in your policy that you thought were dumb?
Not really.
No, they all kind of made sense.
They all made sense. Yeah, nothing weird, to be honest.
If you showed up to work in Florida as a CO and your white shirt said, hey, we want you to go play pickleball with that inmate over there, man.
No,
You just say no.
I'll say no.
Like, well, don't you want to be a sergeant? There's a sergeant position coming up, man.
I don't really care about the rank, to be honest.
What if they're like, hey, your friend Billy and John are over there playing with that inmate?
They're not even my friend at that point. Like, I would not associate myself with people that do that. Like, the department is... I don't say... If it ever comes to that, then, like...
Oh, it came to that here, bro. We're here.
I just can't see it happening over there. And if it does happen, I know for a fact there's going to be...
A mass exodus? People quitting?
Yes. Yes, definitely. And then you're going to get
shit. Are there transgenders over there?
Yes, because in the state of Florida, it doesn't matter if you're transgender. If you were born a man in the state of Florida, you go to a men's prison no matter what.
Right.
There's actually a complaint about that in Miami-Dade, that a transgender with female reproductive parts was put in a men's jail because it doesn't matter. You were born a man. So in Florida, you get sent to a men's prison. They don't recognize it as anything if you're transgender. But I seen a lot. Titties up to here.
Did you see that in the Alpha dorm over there?
Yes, that's what
That's a weird
yeah.
dorm then.
Yes. It was crazy. I don't know how that exists. You know, they messed up something with the implants or whatever. I don't know. It looked horrible. A lot of transgenders. A lot of those transgenders. But
Now, did you see other inmates falling in love with those dudes?
oh yeah, those transgenders didn't even have to get out of their bed. You just go to their rack and you see soups, snacks, food, and you're like, I never see you go outside. How do you have all this? Well, no shit, because they, getting it in with other inmates.
And what were you thinking when you were just a young CO watching this?
I
Atrocities.
was never exposed to that
Weird
kind of
shit?
lifestyle,
Yeah.
like that stuff. It was kind of a first time for me. It doesn't matter if I like it or I don't like it.
Right.
but
It's just different to see.
yeah, it was weird. Definitely weird.
Right.
You know.
No, I agree.
Hopefully I wasn't offend nobody, but
Nah, we're not here to be offensive.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you are not used to that and you see it for the first time, dude, it fucking catches you off guard.
very much so, yes.
Um,
But the department's good. I mean, it's a good department. It's really all about overtime dollars and favoritism. That's really what are the things the department could work on to be a better work environment.
are there many escapes in the Florida Department of Corrections?
Not that I heard of. I never really heard of it, no.
Do you guys ever transport inmates to a local hospital to
Yes, I've done it twice.
get transports?
Yes.
How did you guys go? In a vehicle?
In a van. There's a van that has a cage in there. Just open the slide door. They're all chained up and shackled. Put them in there, take them to point A, point B.
I want to know the process of taking an inmate out to the hospital in Florida. You go to his cell,
Yeah, we go to his cell.
strip him out.
Of course, yes. You take him out the cell. You put him in the shower, strip him out. All right, we're good. Cuff up. We cuff him up, and then we do our routine.
Are
putting
you
all the
cuffing him
shackles.
behind his back? Oh, with
Always
shackles?
Always behind the back. Well, shackles, yeah, that's different. But if you're putting anyone in handcuffs, always from the back. You'll never put someone in the front cuffs. Never.
Bro, I like you, dude, man. I don't understand how you fucking understand this, and 98% of these kids over here do not understand that, bro. You don't know how many times I've seen dudes get handcuffed in the front. It used to drive me fucking crazy.
No, I would crash out. I would not. Nah. It's not a thing. That's
It's
not
a
a
fucking thing here, bro, and I don't understand it,
Mm.
dude. I'm getting worked up thinking about it, bro.
No, that's not a thing. I mean, and then after you cuff them, uncuff them, you put on the restraints, the shackles, leg restraints.
What
Make
if
sure
the
there's
inmate said, hey, COs, these are too tight, man?
Doesn't really matter to me. I mean,
Why you got to be a dick, CO?
I don't even know what I would say to him. I would just tell him, just shut the fuck up and just chain up to go to the hospital. You want to go to the hospital, right? I mean,
You want to go, don't you?
you want to go, so fucking do what I tell you to do, and that's it. Because now you're not going.
Do you have a gun?
One of us carries a gun. Other one carries a taser.
Okay. Everything seems normal thus far. So 2 cops,
Always two. One with a gun, one with a taser.
inmate in the back.
Inmate in the back.
Now, theoretically speaking, if you open that back
I know where
door
you're going with this.
and the inmate just bolted, took off running, how would you guys handle that situation?
In the state of Florida, we're actually allowed to shoot them.
Right.
If they hop the gate or try to escape from our custody, we are authorized to use deadly force. Would that be my first reaction? No, because, he's chained up.
Oh, I'm talking about no chains, bro. Like if he picked the lock or whatever, somehow managed to defeat the mechanism.
It's not that I wouldn't shoot anyone, but I know he ain't got nothing on him.
Do you, though?
Hey, anything could happen, you're right, but I can easily chase after him. I could run.
Would you have given a good foot pursuit?
Yeah, easily. That'd be done fast. I can run.
Did you see the video, bro?
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Because I can run. He wouldn't. He would have not gone far. That would have ended in like.
Oh,
less
so
than
you
5
saw that
seconds.
video, right?
Yeah, I seen
Kern
the video.
Valley. Fucking
Yeah.
shout out to Cesar Hernandez, man. We see you, my boy. You're fucking famous. So, dude, you saw that video. You would have caught up to that guy, tackled him. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. It wouldn't even have lasted more than 5 seconds. There's not even a reason. That would never happen to me because, I mean, I know that because he's chained. We have him properly restrained.
Right.
Like, he can't get anywhere.
It's complacency, bro. It's complacency, lack of caring, and I'm not just blaming the cops and stuff. It's the whole machine. It's the whole system that I
See, that was also a problem in my department too, was complacency. It was there. It was definitely there. There was an incident where a sergeant of mine got assaulted in the middle of the night by an inmate high off a K2, and complacency played a big role because he could have gotten killed because the officer that was there, the second one, a couple feet apart, didn't even call it in.
did not call it in.
That officer talked on the phone and was like, "Oh, hey, a sergeant over here is fighting with someone." And the controlman is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then they go on the radio blasting, 1024, officer needs help.
Why didn't that CO do anything? Was he dumb? Was he not all there?
Complacency. It has to be complacency.
Did
because-
they give him an ass chewing? Did people talk shit to him?
Oh, definitely, yeah. If it gets down like that, you're not gonna be respected or liked by anybody.
Yeah, let's say you're getting down with an inmate or you're fucking fighting or in an incident and you have a partner
Yeah.
that just freezes. That's another shit we keep seeing these days here.
You see, freezing can be a little normal. I've frozen my first couple times during use of force incidents, but
Right.
what that person did wasn't freeze. They willingly and knowingly saw it and were on the phone talking about it like it was a joke.
Bro, you're a sharp dude, man. You're fucking sharp, dude, for sure. Yeah, there's a difference between freezing and then fucking willingly opting not to participate in assisting your partners.
Yeah, because I don't know why my memory is so vivid about my use of force incidents. I mean, because mine were pretty quick. I think the first time I froze for like a second, but I just did it. I just straight did it. And
What was it, pepper spray?
yeah, all my uses of force,
Well, what about physical force? Is that considered use of force per your guys' policy?
yes.
And what
Physical
can
use
be
of force.
considered physical? A punch?
Yeah, like a punch,
Slam?
throwing them on the ground, slamming them, stuff like that.
Is that common? Physical force?
In my prison, yeah.
Damn.
But the state of Florida prefers that you use OC spray rather than putting hands on. They prefer that.
Well, it's safer.
It's safer, yeah. They encourage us to use the OC spray instead of putting hands on. But then later on, they started encouraging to use a taser more because of the body camera, get a documentation of the use of force. So they were slowly like, hey, I know you have your OC spray in your hands, but your taser certified.
Right.
You should use it. We're trying to get this program going a little bit.
Yeah.
I never used my taser. I would carry it sometimes. I never used it.
Did you have the opportunity to use it and chose not to use it?
Yes, but I don't know why. I'm not trying to do anything wrong, but for some reason that body camera just doesn't. I don't like it. Like, I don't know. I feel like even though I did trust a lot of my superiors, I just saw too much incidents of like people just getting screwed over because I don't know. For me, I forget what I'd be doing sometimes during use of force. Like, there was one use of force I had because when there's a use of force and you call it in, someone needs to come out with a camera, to document the aftermath. And they did that on one of my uses of force. And I already written my report, all that. And my captain's like, hey, you need to rewrite this stuff because on camera it shows you body slamming him.
Damn, somebody was able to go get a camera, run back in time to film you body slamming him?
Before shift, everyone is told their special duty, assignment. Like, hey, you and you guys are going to be the dart team. You and you, cell extraction. And you're the cameraman if anything happens. So the minute a use of force goes on the air, your first reaction is to get that camera and run. And no, my use of force was OC spray. I body slammed him afterwards because he was resisting. And that was caught, but I did not remember I did that because I didn't put that on my report. And my captain's like, hey, like, you got to rewrite your thing because you body slammed him and you didn't put that. And I'm like, I body slammed him? And I looked at the camera like, oh, I don't remember that. There's things you forget.
Oh, dude. Tunnel vision, auditory
vision.
exclusion. I get it, bro.
I really believe that if you get into use of force, you should review your body on camera before writing a report.
I agree.
Or at least write a statement, but it's not your official report. Because I mean, it's happened to me twice where something happened that I completely forgot. I didn't even know happened because it was on camera. So at least they were cool with me with that, wasn't a problem.
So you would eventually join the Marine Corps, bro.
Yeah, of course. I mean, whole family's military and law enforcement. I got the law enforcement down. I enjoyed my time. My certification is good for 4 years after I quit. So it's still active right now. It's going to be active once I get out the Marine Corps. So I was like, why not? I'm still young. Always wanted to be a Marine. Now is the time to do it. No kids. Wife, but the opportunity was there, so I took it. Went to the Marine Corps.
You went to Parris Island for boot camp.
Parris Island, South Carolina. And I could definitely say that being a CO helped me out in the Marine Corps because I knew rank structure. You as a LT, I would never go to you for something.
Right.
I'm going to go to my sergeant first. And if I have to go to you, then I'll go to you. But I go through the proper channels. So when it came to range structure, I got that down.
When you first got there, did they start yelling at you right away?
Yeah, you know how it is.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't really care.
Because of your experience as a CO?
I think it's just me as a person. Like, I don't care. Like, I was never the yeller type or I could have had inmates challenge me, get into fighting stances, and I would just stare at them and be like, you really want to do that? In the most calmest voice ever.
And what would they do? Well, no,
it would catch them off guard, for sure, because they expect a reaction. And I would just tell them calm, like, motherfucker, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And I would just stare them down, and then they would be like, I'll be like, yeah, exactly. So I could say that in the Marine Corps, it was pretty simple for me going through boot camp because nothing really bothered me. I never really cared. It was just getting through it. My mentality has always been just getting through it, just do it. They tell you what to do and how to do it in boot camp. And they're always with you, the drill instructors.
Yeah, but what about the conditioning? Like conditioning your body to road march far? Or...
I was always pretty physically fit.
Were you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have muscles like that. I've always been more of a cardio person. I was always skinny, always a runner. I could pull my own body weight. So, like, nothing about boot camp was hard for me. I think the only hard part was just really missing home and, like, wondering if I did the right decision in leaving the department.
Why is that?
Because I had it good there. I mean, I was getting encouraged to put in for sergeant in like a year or two. And like in my head now, I'll wait till I hit my 5-year mark to hit sergeant because I want to keep learning more. Because my biggest fear is being a leader in an environment where I don't fully know everything and I could get someone hurt. No one that is 2 or 3 years into anything should be that high up. Unless, like in the military, you get meritoriously promoted.
Yeah.
That's different. You've proven yourself 100% you can do it. But you got to put in your time and then pick up rank after that if you really want it. You can't just be in there for 3 years and be a sergeant, or 2 years. That's not how it works.
That's how it works here, man. It's wild. It's different, dude.
Oh, no, in Florida, it works like that too. We called them 1-year sergeants.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the department, you're eligible to be a sergeant.
Really?
Yes. And, we kind of had to do that. Like I said, the staffing shortage was pretty bad.
Right.
Where you had people like me in for not that long, having to teach people. Guys in for 1 year had to be sergeants. Like it was a necessity in a way. No one, we needed it because we didn't have no one there. You were learning by yourself. Everything was being, I observed as much as I could of everything, but everything else you had to basically teach yourself. No one taught me that you shouldn't have an inmate too close to you. Not let an inmate do this. I already knew that already in my head because it's common sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, so definitely it did me well for the military. It wasn't a hard transition.
So then you said you went to 29 Palms?
Yeah, I go to 29 Palms for field operations. That's what it is for now. I'm currently on the track of going to Thailand next month in February.
What is that? A deployment, a duty station? What is that?
It's more so like a training exercise.
Training exercise in Thailand.
We're doing a training exercise in Thailand. So it's pretty, it sucks. You have your moments. But hey, like it's something that I wanted to do, so it's different.
Right.
It's different when you complain about something that you're doing and you didn't want to do. I signed the paper. I chose to join the Department of Corrections. I chose to be a U.S. Marine. So you got to do it.
You got Trump coming into office very shortly. I think this month, bro. How do you feel that would impact the Marine Corps as a whole or the United States military?
You know, a lot of my staff sergeants and higher ups that I talk to say that no matter who's president, things are the same.
Correct.
It's always the same. It doesn't matter who's president. You know, I feel like people worry too much about who's president.
Right.
I think what people need to start worrying about is your local governments,
Facts.
your governor, your mayor. You know, that's what I care about most.
District attorneys.
Yeah,
governor.
DAs, all the sheriffs. You know, like I do love this country. I do. My whole family fought. I have 3 generations of us fought for this country. But I mean, I'm putting my state first too sometimes. I mean, I care more about who's governing Florida. Cause it's like, hey, if you guys in California, New York want to have this liberal mindset with Gavin Newsom or whoever's mayor or governor in New York, y'all can have that. We're
You guys
gonna
have
stay.
homeless. You guys have homeless people in Florida?
We do, but not like that.
You seen that shit right here?
That's freaking weird. I mean, let's say it's not weird, but
That's pretty bad.
there's actually a law that came in effect in Florida. I don't want to missay it just in case, but they kind of banned homelessness in a way. You know, you can't just sleep there on the street.
No, fuck.
Like,
no,
you'll
an
get
alligator
kicked
will-
out,
An
like-
alligator will eat you.
Yeah, that too. But no, you'll get arrested or you'll get kicked out or ticketed. You know, you can't. There's no such thing as homeless camps. Maybe in Miami there might be some, but in the state in general, you don't see that. When I was back home, I did not see any of that. You see your casual homeless guy with his sign, you know, walking around. You don't see this stuff. People sleeping on the streets. It smells like piss.
Fentanyl, slamming dope.
I almost got exposed to fentanyl one time in the prison.
Really?
We were doing a cell search on this guy and white powdery substance all over his stuff in this medication bottle. I'm not sure if it was fentanyl for sure. I never heard back after, but it was getting me a little dizzy once I got a little look at it. I don't know what it was, but safe to say it could have been that.
Shit, dude. So you have a few more years left on your contract as a Marine. What are your goals right now? What do you envision your future looking like?
I want to stay in law enforcement. I really do.
In California or in Florida?
Florida. I would never do it here.
So you don't plan on staying in California?
No. Not
Damn,
for another
bro.
second. The minute I get my DD-214, I'm getting in the car and I'm driving back the same day to Florida.
Seriously?
Yes. You know, it's weird how we live in the same country, you know.
Correct.
We live in the same country, but it's very different.
Absolutely.
A little too different. It was pretty weird. Just everything. You know, you can look at anything and be like, oh, it's different back home. It's a good thing about this country. It can also be a little, you know.
Yeah.
But definitely stay in law enforcement. I'm not sure corrections, because despite me not having the worst time in the department, you know, the department's not perfect. It has, you know, a lot of people hate the department. They hate working there.
They do?
Yeah, because it's the favoritism, little money, and the forced overtime. That's really the fact. If the state of Florida, which our governor has been helping us out, I got a signing bonus, a pretty big one when I came on. We're getting bonuses. The governor's trying to bring up the pay. You know, like they're trying, but the funding, there's not, we don't, the state of Florida ain't the richest.
Who makes the most money, the state troopers or the police officers?
In case you didn't know, state troopers in Florida are probably the lowest paid law enforcement officers in the country.
God damn, bro. They're not even getting paid that much over there.
No, but it's going up. You know, little by little, it's going up. It's going up. If you really want to make money in law enforcement in Florida, I recommend Fort Lauderdale PD or those really bougie city police departments. You know, because at a sheriff's office, you'll make like $25 an hour.
Really?
You know.
I don't know how I feel about that, dude, because I mean your life is on the line daily.
It's on the line daily. And a lot of people like to use the example, hey, we don't pay that much, but we'll back you up.
That's a good thing. I mean, I could see the trade-off. Would I rather get paid less but have my people back me, or get paid a shitload and fucking roll the dice?
I can attest to that because I'm choosing to go back rather than stay here and make
bank.
$100K, you know, make bank as a San Diego sheriff or whatever.
Miserable.
You know, I just can't. You know, the fact that here they legalize marijuana, they legalize drugs, like drug usage.
Well, I guess you're right, bro. I mean, I walked away from $100,000.
You see? You know, the money, I mean, yeah, we want to get paid. Yes, I want a pension and benefits. But I believe that real cops don't look too far into all that stuff.
Right.
You know, when my family was on the job in Puerto Rico, you don't get, even right now, you don't get paid anything there. And they were proud cops. They loved that job. So I'm one of those that I believe a real cop joins because they actually want to do something.
Right.
Whether it's help someone out, whether it's, that's what I think the job is for. For corrections, you're there to provide, what we say in Florida is care, custody, and control. That's what we do: care, custody, and control. You're there to keep them there, make sure they get their 3 meals a day, and that they don't kill each other. That's your job.
Here, the motto is provide them fun, leisure, and activities, bro.
I mean, activities aren't the worst,
right?
But I mean,
what advice do you have for younger viewers, because they don't listen to me, bro?
That's actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to get on the podcast is for this part right here.
What's that?
Maybe some advice for the younger officers. Like, I don't know what I could really say, because it's like you said earlier, it seems generational. The timidness and the not really wanting to work hard or falling easy to any little agenda that there might be. The best thing I could say is, like, if you want to get into the job, get into it for the right reasons. If you're using, in Florida, people join corrections most of the time because we have a program called the crossover program. Me graduating the academy, I can use that certification to go to a 3-month course to be a police officer. Just transfer directly. So a lot of people just join to be a police officer. So if you're joining the department, join for the right reasons. If you're joining to gain some experience on custody, to be a police officer, do it. If you want to make a difference in any way, do it. If it was your passion because you actually want to help others, and, you can't help everyone, but you can make someone's day just a little bit easier.
What would you say to an individual that is on the fence or doesn't have it in them to be law enforcement, yet they apply anyways, and they become a liability?
Don't do it. There's no point. Like, we don't need them. We really don't. If you don't really want to do that job, or you're just going in there for the money, we don't need you. We don't. Cops back in the day, they didn't get paid shit, and that was probably the best generation of cops in the 80s and 90s that this country's ever seen. So if they can do it, if they were able to bring down crime rates really down with just carrying handcuffs and a revolver
and a big-ass flashlight.
A big-ass flashlight with no technology, barely getting paid. If they were able to bring down record-high crime rates, I don't know why things are going on the way they are right now. It doesn't make sense. We have all this technology, all this training, all the mistakes we made in the past, we're able to learn from them.
I mean, you probably can't see it because, you haven't been exposed to it, but this is all by design, bro. This is all by design. Somebody at the top of somewhere is getting fucking paid to. This has been going on since 2012, man. This has been in the making. That's why you keep saying, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I didn't understand it either till you see how high the bullshit goes, dude. It's
I don't know why, though. Like, what's the point of it?
What do you mean you don't know why?
Like, I don't understand the point of it. Why that person on the top wants it.
Money, greed, power. It's disgusting, dude. Yeah. That's what wars are made out of, overseas, Middle East. But yeah, bro, when that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, dude, for sure. That's what it drew evilness.
And also, a lot of these young people are joining departments because I like to look at videos and ads from time to time. I'm a Marine now, but I like to stay in touch with my law enforcement community.
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot of them, if it's not dollars or benefits, they want to join to be the change.
Be the change?
Yeah. It's
for the Punisher patch.
Huh?
To wear the Punisher patch and the...
Yeah, thank God I wasn't one of those.
Sleeve tattoos. Yeah. You have sleeve tattoos, man?
I have nothing.
That's good, bro. I like you already.
No.
Yeah.
Be the change as in... I don't understand what that really means. Be the change in what sense do you mean? Because what has to change? Have we made mistakes in the past? Yes. Is my former department, known for doing some pretty messed up things? Yes. But what change exactly? Because we just came from a time where cops could do their job, bring down crime rates, and actually, like, help others, to where now you're scared to even pull your gun out when you really have to.
Chicago, San Francisco.
I don't even like looking at videos from those cities. Because I just compare it to what I would do. And It's like, yeah, I would get arrested or fired right then and there the same day because, no, I'm not trying to hurt no one. No, I'm not trying to power trip or anything. But
it's common sense, bro.
If we
It's
need to
common
get
sense.
down, we
It's
got to
life-
get down.
It's life and death situation.
It's life and death. And you can't just do whatever you want. You know, if you're doing something wrong and a cop stops you, you know.
Right.
You know, I've been stopped before. I got stopped before because a cop thought I was shoplifting when I wasn't. Was I a little upset? Yeah, because, I mean, I was not having the best day and I wasn't shoplifting. I was just there using the bathroom and he stopped me.
He stopped you in the bathroom?
Going
got
outside
out?
the store. And I was like, yeah, I ain't got nothing, you know, whatever you need. You know, cooperation goes a long way because, hey, I mean, because you don't know if he got told something
Right.
or anything, you know, he's just trying to do his thing. Usually when you remain calm and you just have a friendly conversation, it ends well.
What about when you resist the cops and fight them and start grabbing their gun and shit?
And you see, like, if you get shot or you get killed when you do that, I don't believe you're a victim.
Correct.
Like, you're not a victim. If you fight the cops or you're a threat and you end up getting killed or hurt, you're not a victim. You know, so, you know, that whole be the change is like, what do you mean? Like, you want things to go soft, basically. You know, you'd rather tell some guy 20 times to get out of the car rather than giving him, you know, you afford him the opportunity to get out the car. You explain yourself. You identify yourself. You tell him everything. But you keep telling him 20 times to get out of the car.
Yeah, bro. Those fucking videos get me too, man.
They get me mad because it's like, dude, I mean, I always, when I was a CO, I had the three rule.
Ask, tell, make.
What was that?
Ask,
Oh, yeah.
tell, make.
Yes. You know, hey, inmate, like, you know, and that's what you call them. You call them inmate. You know, you don't call them by their name, this or that. It's inmate.
What do you think of the term incarcerated persons?
That's not even a thing. The inmate. None of that stuff is a thing. You know, inmate, come here. You know, no.
What about incarcerated persons manufactured weapon? Seen that one the other day.
I never even heard of it in my life.
Basically a shank.
Oh, a
in
shank.
woke language.
No, you mean I tell you 3 times to do something, and if you want to take it that far, I can take it that far. You know, I don't mind doing paperwork. I don't mind, you know, I don't care. Like, if you want to take it that far, we can take it that far. But I had a good rapport with the inmates because I was pretty chill. You know, it was more of like, hey, this and this and this. You know, just don't do this.
Yeah.
All right, it's all good. I can't tell you how many times I stayed overtime, an hour
Right.
or two, trying to help an inmate find a bed, find a mattress or a pillow.
Yeah.
Whenever they needed a problem, they were housed in the wrong housing unit, I would help them out. You know, it was never to be like, you know, bad to them.
Right.
It was more so of, hey, let's run this smooth. But if you try something or you test things, it's like, I'm going to take, like, if you take it to this level, I'm taking it to this level.
Yeah, you kind
Type
of
of thing.
Cool, man. Well, dude, thanks for coming on the podcast, bro. Thanks for reaching out. I definitely want to keep in touch with you, man, and just see how your journey progressed, bro. I'm stoked for you, man. Sky's the limit, like I told you, dude.
Yeah, of course. I can't wait, too, to see how things, where I might end up, what agency I might end up. If I stay in the military, who knows?
Fuck, you can become a federal cop, bro.
Yeah,
And be the change there, man. Which
Yeah.
needs some.
We need change there, for sure.
All right, dude. Once again, thank you for coming, man. There you guys have it, folks. Another banger. Probably the youngest guest I'm ever going to have on here, man. Any younger is going to get weird. But with that, if you guys like what you saw, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you, guys. Love you. Keep pushing forward.
Unhinged line, Hector's legend engraved. Living life raw, never been tamed. From the hood to the pen, truth and tales pen. Hector Bravo unhinged, story never ends.